For another project. My wife got a commission to do a dragon clock. So she designed the dragon, and I need to cut it out. So let's open it up. And there it is. All right, let's trace it out. And there is our dragon. Now we can, let's see, I need to make it bigger. So we need to make this, I think we decided on 18, 20 inches. We're going to go 20 inches. It's almost perfectly circle. Let's go ahead and apply that. We still got our layout. You know, my wood is cut to 24-inch squares, so that's our work surface. That's why I didn't do anything on that. And let's go ahead and move this around. Yeah. So that turned out a little bit 20. So 24. Oh, my box, hang on. I need to go back in here, and we need to change this to 24 by 24. Okay, thickness, it's 1/4 inch, lower left. Okay, there we go. All right, now we can center this thing up. And we're going to go to our toolpaths. We're going to contour this. There's our max depths. We're going to go outside right. So that's going to cut that. So I need to make sure I use an 1/8 inch bit. Okay, RPM, feed rate. Okay, so this should cut just fine. Don't need any tabs. And we're going to hit OK, and then let's change this to MDF. And so there's what it's going to look like cut out. All right, so that looks good. It's going to connect. So like it's not going to technically cut back down here, but that's fine. We got the eyeball. That's good. This will cut out. So worst thing we do is have to cut it again, but I think this is going to cut pretty good, especially if we use the 1/8 inch bit on it. So let's go ahead and save this G code. We're gonna. I need to go get my drive. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and save this here in a second, and then we're gonna head out to the machine. All right. So I sort of got rushed into this project, and I forgot that my my vacuum bag had been full, and I had bought one of those Oneida, whatever it's called, dust deputies, and it's been sitting in my garage here for about a month now. And I keep saying, well, I'll do it next project, next project, next project. This was finally the project where I rushed through hooking it up, and it's really easy, and I'll do another video. There's a million out there, but why not do another one? And honestly, it took like all of 15 minutes to get set up. So I'm actually pretty excited to have that thing running. I have a big filter bag that I've been running. I've got like a 20 or 25 gallon Craftsman vac, and 20 gallon? Yeah, so I have a 20 gallon, and it's been really good. And I think the bag took about all it could take. Luckily, I think I caught it before it really made any issue with the internal filter and stuff like that. But I'm really excited to see what this dust deputy does. I am doing a giant dragon like you saw. And I haven't cut in a little while because I've been busy with other projects. I need to get like a dead blow hammer or something. My hand gets tired doing that, but we've got that set up, and if we come over here, we can go ahead and see my So let's go ahead and home this. All right. I don't like rushing through projects. Luckily, at least I've done enough that I can sort of come out here and just bust one out without it being too complicated. But my wife said that she's got this project and somebody just dumped it on her, so she goes, I need you to cut this tonight. So here we are. All right, there's been a couple of you that have been really helpful in how to use this homing block and the probing block. And I don't know if I'm going to do it tonight, but everybody says just lift it up and touch it rather than risk doing that. So maybe I'll sort of do it tonight. We'll see here in a second. I still have my 1/8 bit in there. My Makita is set to 3. Again, I'm still learning this. I'm reading as much as I can. It seems like those settings mixed with what I put in on the other side, the controller side, seem to be working pretty well for me. So I've only broken a bit because I was an idiot and moved the joystick while it was spinning on accident and snapped it right off. Otherwise, I feel like I've been okay. All right, so where are we at here? I need to probe. So I'm still trying to figure out what everybody's telling me to do here, but I've got the probing block. And we've got this, and everybody says just get it close and lift it up, and then it'll do the rest. So I'm gonna see here. I'm just gonna get it close. So I'm getting it inside that circle, and I'm gonna bring it down a little bit, and we're gonna pull this. So I'm just going to get it close, and then everybody says just pull it up and touch it. Okay. So I'm doing that. And then I guess let's see what happens here. Shoot. I always forget. I got to figure out if there's a way to default this thing to Imperial. Alright, so let's lift this up again. Okay. Continue. And we are at point 125 because it's an 1/8 inch bit. Huh. All right. Well, hey, to all of you that helped me with that tip, boy, that makes life easy. So thank you. I can see why you all suggested doing that because it's going to come down and home itself anyway. You just have to give it a rough starting point inside that circle. So that was fantastic. I appreciate the help there. This is going to be a long cut. I'm cutting, it's almost a 20-inch design. It's going to be taking 3 or 4 passes to cut all the way through because I'm using a small bit. And boy, seriously, thank you everybody that suggested just touching that probe because boy, that just saved a ton of headache. All right. Done. Let's go ahead and upload this file. So we're looking for Dragon. Helps if I plug it in, doesn't it? Where is it? Alright, here's my flash. Try this again. Open up. There we go. So Dragon, open. And like I said, this is going to be a long cut, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. So it's saying an hour. And let me get this. Alright, so we've got that on. Life's good there. Let me lower. That is set. So I've got my brushes just barely touching the wood. I feel good about that. I think I told you guys last time over here. I've got my double stick down. I double check the height. My brushes are just barely touching, and then I just use a little bit of painter's tape here to hold my vacuum tube on. And that seems to be a pretty good solution for me. So I guess we're gonna fire this up and we're gonna see what happens. I still get nervous every time I hit start on this thing. Don't have the experience yet to really feel confident that something isn't going to completely go catastrophically wrong. I'm trying to be safe, trying to do the right thing. The big thing right now is making sure not only does it cut, but is the dust deputy going to do its job. So I'm going to go over there for a second and watch it. Looks like everything's going okay right now. So some of these smaller things, it's doing the cutouts, so it's going down, then down, then down, then down to get the cutouts done rather than one giant path and then coming back. And that's just how the tool path is done. Alright, well, we'll come check back in a little bit. Alright folks, you can see here it looks like it's cutting just fine. This is going to be a big one. I'm excited to see how it finishes. Alright, it's done a couple passes on this particular part of the cut, so it's almost all the way through this. We got about 45 minutes left, but man, I'm excited to see how this one turns out. So this part is all the way through now. It's working on the outside. Got about 25 minutes left, so I'm still feeling really good about it. There's a couple choppy cuts in here I'm not super happy about, and I'm honestly not sure why. The only thing I can think of is that I didn't have tape right here, and so this piece, I could feel it moving a little bit, so I think it was stuttering. So I just need to remember I need to cover more tape area when I'm doing small cuts like this, but I'll be able to sand that out as long as it's done cutting, so at least I know it's not going to break. So, alright, well, 24 minutes, see how it goes. Alright, it's really starting to take shape now. You can see there's the head, and then this is going to kind of hold it all together around the outside towards the wings, and then we're going to be mounting the clock in the middle here after my wife's done painting it. So we're getting pretty close. Alright, we're down to about the last 5 minutes here. You can see there's the head, the wings. Looking good. We'll be back, see how this finishes up. Alright, there we go. Took just about an hour. Let me get this all out of the way here. Okay. Guess I should have done that first. Alright. So, there is the completed dragon. I have to say, I'll do a video on it, like I said, but that dust deputy, man, that is worth every penny. I think it was, whatever, 50 or 60 bucks. But, man, that thing was awesome. So, let's see what we got here. There's that. There we go. Look at that. Woohoo! So we'll
she's going to paint it, and then we'll mount a clock in the middle of it. But, man, I'm excited. That's the biggest thing I've cut so far. Just need to clean up some of the edges, which is not a big deal. It ends up getting a heavy coat of resin on it. In fact, I'll tell you what. I'm not even going to put this video out until she's done with it. And I'll just show you guys the whole process here. But by the time she's done with this, I think you're going to be pretty amazed. So thanks for watching this part. Time to go start painting on it. All right, so my wife has gone through. She's just kind of sanded down the edges just a little bit. It looks like there's just a little bit more. Or no, that's gone. So she went through and just kind of knocked down all the edges. That when she paints on it, it's going to look nice and smooth. Go ahead and flip that over so we can see what it looks like on the back. So that is just regular painter's tape. She just puts it on in layers, and then she has to trim it all out. Now you're probably saying, hey, why don't you do that when you cut it on the CNC machine? Well, we've actually tried painter's tape, we've tried masking, we've tried all kinds of stuff. Nothing will cut, at least so far, as smooth as we need it to. Now, if somebody out there has done this and they know how to do it, please feel free to hit me up in the comments, because it would save my wife a ton of time. But, you know, this isn't too bad of a process, even on something that's as delicate as this. What do you think this took you?
Oh, maybe 15 minutes.
Okay. And that's a pretty ornate object to cut out. On other stuff like, you know, her coasters and other stuff, it's a couple minutes per piece. But anyway, go ahead and flip that back over. So what she's going to do now, this is going to get painted with an assortment. It's sitting here. I don't want to uncover it, but she does fluid pouring and acrylic art, but she's going to be doing a fluid pour on this, a flip cup basically. And once she does that, I'll show you guys what it looks like. And then once the paint is dried, which takes how many days?
Well, to touch, about 2 days, but totally cured, at least a week to 2 weeks, depending on your weather.
And how long before you resin over that?
If I let it dry for a week and a half, I can resin right away, and that takes about 3 days to cure.
Okay, so we cut this yesterday. She's going to paint on it today, and it's going to be about 2.5 weeks before we actually have a finished product to give to our friend who ordered this. So this was a commission piece.
And that's the reason why I tape the back off, is because I am going to resin it. So that way I can just peel this all off, and I don't have to do any sanding and cleanup of the resin drips that come under.
Because the resin will just cleanly break right at the tape line. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, next time you see this, it's going to have some paint on it. Well, here's the process. She's just putting the final touches on it. Lots of little cracks and crevices on this thing that need to be touched up. But, man, this thing looks awesome. You happy with the cells and stuff on it?
Yeah, I didn't want it to go too crazy. So
oops, I'm in the middle of her filming. Wow, that turned out really good.
Listen, I think I have it all covered.
That's pretty awesome. There we go. That's a great shot right there. Oh, wow. That's really good, hon.
Thank you.
All right, well, she's going to do some touching up on this, and then it's going to sit for about a week and a half. And then we get to put some resin on it, and I think you guys are going to be absolutely shocked and amazed after you see the resin on it. All right, this is what it looks like after it gets poured on with the resin. And she uses a couple different formulas, or a couple different brands, I should say. And she uses them for different reasons. But this is what it looks like. Obviously, it still needs to get cleaned up from all of the drips. You can see down under here, there's drips like right here and everything. And that's just part of the process. But I'll show you when she goes to pull the tape off why we tape the backs and how much easier that makes life. But this is almost done. So you can see right here how just pulling the tape leaves a nice clean edge, and really helps with all of this resin that has dripped underneath. So it takes a few minutes, and sometimes she uses a heat gun just to help break it up a little bit, but just a really nice, easy way to keep the back nice and clean after using resin. The next trick was putting that clock into the middle of this. So what we did is we measured out on the back, and I took dimensions on this piece of paper.
so that on the top side I could find where I wanted center to be. And then I utilize a unibit or a step bit, whatever you want to call them. And then I marked it with a piece of tape where I should start slowing down. And then while I was slowly drilling, my wife had that hair dryer on the resin, which just softens it up ever so much so that it doesn't shatter or chip or break. And so now we have a nice clean hole, and that fits perfectly in there. So we just need to let this cure another 24 hours now, and then we'll assemble it. All right, there we go. That is the finished product. So that is a Dragon clock. So there you go, start to finish. That's what it looks like for the whole process. And then you can see the back here. We paint over it so that so it looks nice. So there you go. Have a great day. Talk to you later.